I'm here today for another video. I know, it's exciting. I've been wanting to do this video for a while now because it's going to be really fun because I'm going to be showing you guys all of my pets. Alright, so the first pets that I'm going to talk about are our guinea pigs because it's the first pets we had. When I first moved with my boyfriend, he already had one guinea pig, and this little guy right here is him. His name is Dane. He's named after a Hobbit / Lord of the Rings character. If you know anything about that, then you might know who he's named after. He is a Rex or Teddy coated guinea pig. It just depends on what part of the world you live in. It just means that he has really scraggly hair and really curly whiskers, and he is super sweet. So Dane is about a year old, going on like a year and a half, somewhere around there. It's really hard to know when you get your pets at a pet store because you don't know their exact birth date, and he is probably the sweetest animal we have just because he doesn't bite. He's very happy to just sit on your lap like I'm doing right here. As long as you are holding his back feet, he's very comfortable. I cut his toenails without issue. Like, I have no problems with Dane whatsoever. He did pee on my lap one time. We learned the hard way that you do not feed a guinea pig while you're holding it on your lap. So we have two guinea pigs. I'll be showing you his little brother in a minute, but they're not actually brothers, but we call them brothers. They live in a 2x3 CNC cage, so essentially their cage is 2 feet by 3 feet, which ideally they should be in a 2x4. We live in a very small apartment, so we kind of gave them as much as we could. So look at that face. He's got the cutest face. He is heavily motivated by food. Anytime he hears the refrigerator open, or especially if he hears you go into the vegetable drawer, he goes bananas and he wants to eat everything that we have. I would say his favorite food is probably lettuce, like romaine. He also really loves bell peppers, cucumbers, carrots. Oh, carrots are probably his favorites, and blueberries. So that is Dane, and now I'll go show you his brother. Next, we have tiny little Kylo Ren. As you can probably tell, he is substantially smaller than his brother Dane, and that's because he's quite a bit younger. He is probably around 4 months old now. He's still a little baby. Kylo is the first pet that I got when I moved to Florida, and I got him about a week after I moved here. So my boyfriend and I really enjoy going to this local pet store here. It's called Animal House, and it's a nice pet store because you can go in and actually interact with the animals, but that's where they get you, because once you interact with them, you want to take them home. So I knew when I moved here that we were going to eventually get another guinea pig just because it's very important to house a guinea pig with at least one other cage mate. It just helps them stay happy. We're at Animal House, like I said, which is here in St. Petersburg, and they had a batch of new guinea pigs, and they had the tiniest little guinea pig that I've ever seen, and it was Kylo. We picked him up, and my boyfriend instantly fell in love. It was a boy, so it was meant to be, so we brought him home. And in case you're wondering where he got his name, yeah, he looks just like Kylo Ren from Star Wars. Don't you think they have the same nose? He's a little skittish. He's probably our most skittish pet. We work with him like all the time. We hold him. Once you have him out of the cage, as you can see, he's perfectly fine, happy, content. It's just when he's in the cage, he doesn't want to be picked up. That's not really a huge deal because we just pick him up anyways. That's kind of what you have to do with rodents, is sometimes you kind of have to force yourself upon them. He, however, is the only rodent that I have ever had that has bitten me. Yes, you have. Tell the people how you bit me. So I don't think he was biting to be mean, really. I think he was just exploring for food and thought my hand was food and bit and broke skin. It didn't really hurt that much, and honestly, it was the tiniest little markings on my hand, but you know, he does have that honor of being the only one that bit us. As far as introducing him to Dane, it went swimmingly. We kept them separated for about 2 weeks before we put them together, just to make sure that they were healthy, and we introduced them several times before we actually put them in the same cage together. It's been great. They don't fight. We rarely hear rumble stomping, which, if you don't know in guinea pig terms, is I'm not happy, get away, I'm gonna fight you. You hear it every day. Like, even when Dane was by himself, we would hear rumble stomping every once in a while, but it's nothing more than we would normally hear. So, and in fact, Dane, who is over a year old, is popcorning again. Before we got Kylo, Dane never popped corn. And if you don't know, popcorning is basically guinea pig for I'm super happy and excited. Baby guinea pigs do it all the time. Kylo popcorns like like non-stop. But Dane had not popcorned much since I had moved in, and then the day that we started introducing him to Kylo, to his little brother, he has been popcorning like crazy. And it's really funny because Dane is very fat and he cannot popcorn that well. But that's little Kylo. Now I am completely covered in little baby ratties. When I moved to Florida, I knew I wanted to get like a pet of my own. Not to say that Kylo wasn't my pet, because he totally was. And sorry, they're gonna get lost in my hair because this is their favorite thing to do, is to nest in my hair. I knew I was interested in trying out a new pet. In my entire life, I've had lizards, I've had dogs, cats, fish, birds, hamsters, but I'd never had rats. But that was because I was very afraid of rats. Where I grew up, rats were pests, they weren't pets. And it took me a bit of conditioning to even be able to hold a rat, and I did that by actually going to the pet store, like I said, Animal House, and I would pick up the rats and play with them and get to know them. The thing that I was afraid of the most with rats was the tails, and I think that's what most people are afraid of when they're afraid of rats, because if you look at rats from like the face, they're just a big hamster. So I ended up learning that the tails were not a big deal, and I actually started falling in love with rats after I started interacting with them, and I decided to start researching that. I wanted male rats because male rats are fat and lazy, and that was my speed, and so I was convinced that I was going to get male rats. And my boyfriend was convinced that we were going to get female rats because he had had all male pets for the last few times of having pets, and he was ready for females. And I was like, no, we're getting males. I actually got all the stuff for like their cage and made sure that they were gonna have a nice place to live, because I thought that that was really important before getting the pet, was to have a place to put the pet. So once I had all of that, we decided to start looking for rats. And once again, we went to Animal House because they had had lots of rats in recently, and they had a bunch of rats. I knew that I wanted to get a pair of rats just because it's important for rats, once again, to have... What are you doing back there? It's important for rats to have at least one friend, preferably more, but you know, at least one. Like, that's the bare minimum. They should have at least one buddy in their cage with them. So when I went in to Animal House, they had 2 male rats, and I was really excited because they were in a cage together, and they were 2 of the coats that I wanted. One was, well, one didn't have a coat. He was a naked rat. And the other was, I think, a Himalayan. It was white. It's hard to tell sometimes because I didn't get a really good look at him. I just knew he was the color that I wanted. I was really excited because they were actually on sale because they were full grown. So a lot of times Animal House will take in pets that people no longer want and will just sell them for a really good price just to get them a new home. And so I was really excited, but it turned out those 2 rats were not meant to live together. They were very, very aggressive, and they were fighting. There's a huge difference between play fighting and being aggressive. I kind of gave up there. We ended up going to another place in St. Pete called Animal House Naturals, which I don't think is affiliated to Animal House. I think they just have the same name. And they ended up having no rats whatsoever. They had lots of really cute guinea pigs. I was like, do I really want a rat now, or do I want another guinea pig? But I ended up not getting a guinea pig. I was kind of just like, okay, I'm gonna wait. We're gonna wait until Animal House gets some new shipments of rats in. So I was perfectly happy with waiting. And we decided to go to PetSmart just because out of the big store chains, that's kind of the only one we support. And we were just gonna go and look and see if there's any other little things we could get for the cage while we were there, and we ended up finding these 2 little cuties that you see running behind me. The one that we were at only had females, and so I guess my boyfriend kind of won on that one because that was all they had. So they had these 2 girls in a tank together, and they had another girl in a tank separate. The other girl was a color that I really wanted, but these 2 were together, and as soon as we saw them, they kind of melted our hearts because they were cuddling and they were so sweet towards each other. And it was really refreshing to see like 2 rats like really getting along compared to what we had saw at the other pet store. We kind of just were like, you know what? We're getting girl rats. This is the first one that I'm going to show you, and this is Winifred, and she is the big mama out of the 2. She is much more hefty, although her sister is catching up, and she is a broken bandit, hooded, I don't know. They're basically the most common color of rats that you can get. Winnie is our goofball. She is a stereotypical female rat. So the main difference between male rats and female rats are that male rats are fat, lazy, and don't want to do anything, and female rats are insane and just want to run around and have fun all day long. That is Winnie to a T without a fault. She loves to play. She loves to free range. We do let our rats free range. So they run around on our bed. As you can see, that's our bed over there. They run around on the couch. And they also free range in our bathroom a lot. I know that's strange, but it's a really nice place to close them in and let them play. We do the same thing with the guinea pigs, like when we're cleaning out their cages. Winnie just loves to go, play, get into stuff. She's very sweet though. She's the sweeter of the two. She gives me kisses all the time. We've only had the rats for about a month now, but I've already taught Winnie to come when I call her name. So if I go, Winnie, Winnie, she comes. She's trying to come to me right now. And if I snap my fingers when she's getting into something that she shouldn't, and that makes her stop what she's doing and move away from it, which is a really great thing to teach your rats, and especially if you have rats that like to chew. Our girls only like to chew wood, so we're really lucky. As long as we don't have like a big piece of wood near them, they don't really chew anything. Hi, baby. The other way I can get her attention is to go, so, and she comes. She, I feel like, is going to be our rat that is the most easily trainable because she already is. So this little stinker right here, this is Constance, also known as Connie. So I named Winnie and my boyfriend named Constance. I got my name for Winnie or Winifred from Hocus Pocus, and he got her name from a book that he reads, book series. I don't know what it is, I'll insert it here. But it just turns out that there's a Winifred in that book as well, so that's kind of funny. So in all honesty, Connie acts more like a male rat than she does a female rat most of the time, and that's just because she's much more interested in just kind of like chilling out, taking naps, grooming herself, and not listening to you whatsoever. Neither of our rats are very food motivated, meaning we can't like hold out a piece of food and they'll run and come get it. We just haven't found anything that really motivates them to be interested in food outside of their cage. They have no interest whatsoever in food unless they're in their cage, which I guess is good because like we can literally have plates of food around them and they will not go near them. Connie is our nibbler and she only nibbles me. So there's that. When I say nibble, I don't mean she bites. She just comes up and takes her little teeth and kind of like just like presses them into my skin. Like she doesn't bite down hard. It's very, very soft. And I think it's just like her exploring, and that's how she explores, is with her mouth. Also, last week they were getting really, really smelly. We had them for like 3 weeks and they were definitely getting stinky to them. So I decided to give them a bath just because, you know, you don't have to bathe your rodents very often, but generally when they smell bad, you probably should. So I was giving her a bath and she hated it. First of all, I did it in the sink, which is probably a bad idea because it was really easy for her to like crawl up my arm. I don't know if you can see, but I have battle wounds all the way down to here from her like digging at me and being very not happy with getting a bath. So ever since then, she's started to nibble me. So I'm thinking that she might be a little resentful from getting that bath, which I'm sorry, but you stink, so you needed it. So it's kind of hard to tell the two girls apart, and the easiest way for us to tell them apart is that, well, first of all, Winifred is huge, but she also has bigger markings down her back, so she just has more black on her than Connie does, and that's really the easiest way for what are you doing? For us to tell them apart. Like I said, I know a lot of people are intimidated by rats or afraid of them, and all I can say is honestly, pick a rat up and play with it. And I feel like if you play with the right rat, a tame rat, you would never feel the same way about them again, just because they are so incredibly sweet. My boyfriend and I refer to them as our pet dogs because they are more like pet dogs than anything else. In fact, I think they're smarter than dogs. Those are all of our pets. I know this video was long, but at least it was full of cute little animals. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye! Say hi, Winnie.